The current weapon banner is truly phenomenal. Both weapons on it are incredible bows, almost regardless of which character you put them on. But the question remains, should you actually get them? The short answer is yes. The long answer is actually quite a bit more complicated and not as straightforward as it might seem. So let's first take a look at what the weapons are even on the weapon banner. The two 5-star weapons on the banner are first Aqua Simulacra, which is a 5-star weapon with a crit damage substat peaking out at 88.2% crit damage at level 90. While its HP increase is insignificant to any character that is not Yelan, the second subset of a 20% damage increase regardless of the character being on field or not, as long as enemies are nearby, is very useful even for sub-DPS characters like Fischl. Obviously this weapon should be primarily used by Yelan if you do have her already and you get this weapon, but the weapon will be useful to all characters shown on the screen right now, making it, if you get it, a very good all-round option for quite a lot of characters, being main DPS or sub-DPS characters. The second 5-star weapon, the First Great Magic, on the other hand, is basically very similar but has a lower crit damage substat, but a higher base attack. Its skill gives you either for every character of the same element an attack increase, or for any characters of a different element a movement speed bonus. You can have both buffs at the same time, so that is quite handy. It also gives a charge attack bonus, making it an incredible weapon for any character that uses charge attacks, and specifically a weapon for main DPS characters as it has no off-field bonus. Meanwhile, all of the 4-star weapons on the banner are focused around energy recharge and elemental mastery, making them very good choices for any sub-DPS and support character you might have. All in all, basically all of those weapons that are on the banner are in themselves very useful as long as you win the banner. And as long as you win the banner, you will get a weapon that can fill many niches, and even the 4-star weapons will be very useful to you if you do get any of the 5-star weapons to help you build your team up, making it actually a very solid banner to begin with, as long as you win any of the weapons on the banner. However, while this all sounds great on paper, we now come to the elephant on the shelf. The RNG on the weapon banner can be quite iffy to begin with. You choose which weapon you want, and from then on it can take you all the way up to 80 pulls to get a 5-star weapon, on which there's a 75% chance it is one of the two banner weapons. Meaning there's a 50% chance, if you do win the 75% chance, to get the weapon you want. However, if you lose, you get 1 pity on the weapon pity tracker. But only on the 3rd try you're actually guaranteed to get the 5-star weapon that you wanted to begin with. And while the average pull amount to win a 5-star weapon is actually far lower than the character banner, there is one huge issue, which is pity not being carried over to the next weapon banner. Meaning, if you do want to have an insurance to get the weapon that you want and not lose out on the pity that you collected, you will need 240 pulls to actually guarantee a 100% chance to get the weapon that you want, which makes this anything but free-to-play friendly. And while the other 5-star weapons that you can get from the banner are actually not bad at all for the most part, the bigger issue here is very simple. When you pull on a weapon banner, you use the same or potentially even more wishes than you would on a character banner, meaning you will skip a character banner most likely by doing this, and the guarantee that you get the weapon you want in the first place is very scuffed to begin with, meaning investment versus return here is quite difficult, especially considering how strong 4-star weapons can be if you get them to max refinement value. However, like I said before, the 4-star weapons on this banner are actually really good. And yes, 5-star weapons are still better for a lot of cases, but it isn't as a huge jump as you might think it necessarily is, often only being a 5 to 10% increase for that specific character's performance, while the signature weapons often are a rather massive increase at 20 to 30% stronger than the best 4-star weapon. It still begs the question, is this actually worth it? Does that mean that 5-star weapons are not worth the effort at all? No, it doesn't mean it whatsoever. And I would consider myself quite an expert, considering I got Missplitter and my regrets are very limited, as it carried me through the entire start of the game, while I had no clue what I'm doing, as I simply got lucky back then. 5-star weapons, if you get them, can be a massive boon to your character and your whole team. However, if the C1 of the character is incredibly good, you should maybe consider getting that first for the main character you're using. In conclusion, this means the current weapon banner is truly simply insane, with both the 5-star weapons being simply too good to skip. So if you want to get a good bow for your bow character, this banner is generally a very good option, regardless of which of the two you get, And even the 4-star weapons can be a huge upgrade to your team, considering that they are all basically focused around team play. However, if you do pull on it, you want to make sure that you at least win one 5-star weapon so you don't lose all your pity. And that will basically mean you have 80 wishes prepared for it to win at least once. And best case, maybe even 240 pulls reserved. To not get frustrated by the fact that pity is not carried over and you might have just won 2 5-star weapons, of which both are the wrong one. But you will most likely get a good weapon from it regardless of which you get, and you can most likely use it on some kind of character that you have. Is it a budget option? Not really, but that is not related to the banner itself. The banner itself is very good. And the only thing that makes it semi-budget is the fact of how incredibly good this banner is, as basically anything you get from it is very good. And if you do get one of the 5-star weapons from a banner, that is an incredible boon, but even that is only a 75% chance. So the long answer is, pull for it, as it is really good, but only if you can make sure that you actually win at least something. But as long as you win something, you will most likely not regret it whatsoever. But in the end, it is still your decision what you want to do, and I'm just giving my 2 cents here, so make your own decision. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and maybe even check out my other videos. Also a big shout out to all my Patreon supporters.